Welcome back to another Arcadium 3D tutorial video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to turn a 2D floor plan like this into a 3D model like this. This is going to be a fun one today, so let's get started. So to get started, you need to have a 2D floor plan design with at least one wall showing its measurement saved on your computer. This can be super simple. You can go to Google, you can go to Pinterest, Yahoo Images if anybody uses that, but I already have one saved on my computer. It's a pretty simple design. As you can see, it has the measurement 38 feet at the top. That's going to be important for Arcadium to learn the proportions of the room. But once you have that picture saved, you'll go to Arcadium 3D, start a 3D design, and by default it automatically just adds this chair into the middle of the room. You can just click that, delete it, so you're left with nothing on the screen. Now, to bring your 2D floor plan image into Arcadium, you can either just take it from here and drag it in there, or you could come down here to import at the bottom left, select floor plan in the middle, and insert your 2D floor plan into Arcadium that way. Now, once you import your 2D design into Arcadium, you have to set the scale of the image. That way Arcadium 3D will know the proportions, the wall lengths, and everything else of the room. Now, once you click that image, it'll open up this ruler on the screen so you can set a scale for the image. I have my software set to feet and inches, but if you're more comfortable with meters, you can also switch it to that. So to scale the room and make sure all the proportions are correct, you want to put your ruler at the top corner of the wall that already shows the measurement. It's super simple. Drag the one end all the way to where you want it on the other end. And once you have that measured out, it says 38 feet at the top. You would put whatever your measurement says. So I'm going to come down here, change it to 38 feet, and now it knows this wall is 38 feet long. You want to come over here to the right, hit finish, and it'll throw that 2D floor plan right into Arcadium for you. So once your 2D floor plan is already dropped into this space and it's all scaled correctly, I think it's much easier to view this from a top-down angle. So you can go up here to elevations and it gives you all sorts of options. You can view it from the left, you can view it from the right, front, back, floor plan. Obviously there's nothing coming up yet, so nothing's going to show up for a lot of those, but I like viewing it from the top-down angle, and if you zoom out a little bit, it'll have a much better view of the layout of the entire house. Now, to turn this into a 3D model, you can start wherever you want to. I think it's by far easiest to start with the walls, and again, placing walls is much easier from the top-down view. So I'm going to come over here to the left, and it opens up this menu of anything you can add in here. You can paint, windows, doors, label things. We're going to start with walls, and for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to start with a normal white wall, and we're going to start up here at the one we already know the measurement of. So we're going to drag it up to the top, zoom in, make it a little easier, and the outer walls are a little bit thicker, so you want to make it cover the entirety of the black, and basically you're just covering the entire outer parts of the wall on that side. So now if you go down, change the view a little bit, you can see it's slowly turning into a 3D model now. So I'm going to go back to top-down view, and sometimes when you're doing this, you'll accidentally click on the floor plan itself, and you might be trying to move the wall, but say you accidentally move the entire floor plan. This is a super easy fix. If you click the layer itself and go down here on the right to lock, it'll lock that image in place, so now you can't move it at all. And it's super simple. If you need to unlock it, go up to the lock at the top. It'll show all your locked items, and you can unlock it and then move it again if you need to. For the purpose of me not going insane, I'm going to keep this locked so I can add in all the walls, doors, and whatever else I need to for this. Now, when you're looking at this from a top-down view, it's kind of hard to differentiate between the white wall and the white floor. So it's a really easy fix for this. You just want to click your wall here, come to the top, add a cross section, make sure horizontal cross section is on, and you can raise or lower this however you need it to be. It just changes the height of the wall from viewing it at this angle. So you can set this to whatever you need to be, and it just makes it a little bit easier to see it in contrast to the white flooring. So now that we got the first wall added, we're going to do this for the entire outline of the house. The easiest way to do this is to just copy and paste the wall you already have added in. There's a few ways to do this. You can go old reliable, Control C, Control V. You can just hit Control D. That'll paste the one you have selected. Or if you're more of a mouse clicker, you can just go down here and hit duplicate. All of it's going to do the same thing. And once you have that wall, we're going to drag it down to the other side here. So now if you look, we have these two walls done. I'm going to go back to top-down view. Big fan of top-down view here. And we're going to do the same thing, duplicate this wall. Now there's two ways to rotate the wall. You can either click this orange arrow down here and turn it with the mouse, or with just one click of the button, you can just hit R and it'll automatically rotate it 45 degrees. So once you do that, you're going to finish off the rest of the border of the house. Now the house is not a perfect square, so I am going to have to trim this side of the wall, but since all my measurements are already accurate, I can just duplicate this wall, move it to the other side, and that will complete the outside border of our 2D design. So as you can see here, we got the whole outside of the house done. Now obviously if somebody were to move into this now, they would be stuck in the house. We will add doors later. I am not a sicko. I will let people enter and exit this house. So I'm going to take this wall, we're going to do this one here, duplicate it as always, move it to where it needs to be. For the inner walls, those tend to be a little bit thinner, so once you have it where you need it to be, I'm just going to make it a little bit thinner so it matches the inside walls. And And now I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do this for the other remaining walls. Alright, and once you have all the walls done, you'll have a little something like this. Now, I guess we should let people enter and exit the house, so now we move on to doors. I don't know why, doors are kind of fun to add to me, because when you put the doors in the wall, it automatically adds a cutout of where the door will open. So I like my door to have a nice window, so we're going to keep it simple, and I'm going to go to this one at the top right here. So once you have your door added in, same thing as the walls, if you need to turn it, just hit R. Now, if you keep hitting R over and over and over again, the door might get dizzy, so to avoid that, we're going to stop. Now, a problem I ran into when adding the doors, the floor is white and the doors are added in white. So when I first started this, I kept adding in doors and I'm like, where are the doors going? But then if you scroll down, you can see I have a cluster of doors. I don't even know what to call this creation. So we're gonna delete all the extra ones that you may have added. And just to make it so much easier to see, we're gonna change the color of it. I feel like a lot of doors are brown, so we're gonna go brown door here. And it makes it so much easier to see. So we're back up here to top down view. And we'll start with the door that leads from outside to inside. So once you have this here, you're just going to need to change the size of it a little bit to match the frame of it. And once you have the measurements right, you just have to make sure it's positioned so where it does take enough out of the wall. And once you size it enough, it should take the chunk out of the wall, and now people can get in and out. Now it's going to be the same process for all the inside doors. I'll go ahead and do all of those quick. For those, the door frame might need to be a little bit thinner just because we made those interior walls a little bit thinner. But if you've been following this video, you know that's not hard to do at all. So now the door I copied and pasted and threw in here, it's opening the wrong way. Again, super easy fix, just hit R enough times till it rotates, and your 2D design should show you the arc in which the door should open. If for some reason you did need to flip the door, if it's mirror moded and it's not opening the right way, you just go over here to the right and hit flip door and it'll open it the reverse way. And if for some reason you want to see what the door would look like 1/3 closed, you can hit this and it'll show it how it opens. So we'll just keep the door open so you can see what it looks like if you go through then. I just realized I did put the front door on backwards. That's a super easy fix. Just come down here, click on the door. All you have to do is hit flip door and it'll put the door hinges on the other side. So now when you open and close it, it'll be how the arc is supposed to be. So now we have 3 more doors to add. I will do that really quick. Now, I'm a big fan of natural light, so let's move on to windows. Same process as the doors. If you can do the doors, you can easily figure out the windows. You can add a little window in this room. Maybe you want it to be a bathroom, storage room, office. I don't know, but now it will have a window. And again, all you have to do is make sure the window edges are big enough that it does cut out that hole in the wall, and you have yourself a window. I'm not going to throw in a ton amount of windows here. I just want you to get the hang of it. I'll just throw in a couple here. And I'm assuming this would be the big living room here. We want a nice big window for the living room. So I'll go ahead and add in one more window. Hit R twice to rotate this, throw it in this wall here, and now you have a nice window across from this door, and natural light will be let into the living room. It's a decent sized window, but like I said, I'm a huge fan of natural light, so I want to let more of that in. I'm just going to take one of the sides of this window and just extend it out, and now you got an extremely long window and an extremely high amount of vitamin D. So yeah, you can go through, add whatever windows you want to add. I'm just going to stop with 2 for the purpose of this video so we can move on to the next thing. Okay, now I'm getting a little sick of the white walls. It kind of looks a little boring, a little plain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to paint, and it lets you pick everything you want to be painted. So I want all of the walls to be painted the same color. If you wanted a different design for the bathroom, bedroom, you can do that. But again, just for the purpose of this video, we're going to make everything painted the same color. So I'm going to click what I want painted, hold in shift, and it'll select all of the walls at the same time as I click them. So once I do that, you see all the walls are selected, and you can either pick a solid color up here. You can go to one of these designs here. You know, if you want to, you could go like a Vincent Van Gogh looking painting. That would be insane. It looks like you live in a museum, but a museum with tons of natural light nonetheless. Just to make it a little bit easier to distinguish from the floor, I'm just going to give it a nice gray. Now is where it gets really fun. You get to design the inside of it. I like to start with the floors because it's just the biggest change you can make all at once in the beginning of this. So we'll go to floors and ceilings, get a nice floor you like. I feel like we should just keep it simple. Let's just go a nice lighter wood here. So it'll add that in for you. Start it here at the top corner. And again, you can do different floorings for every room, just to keep this simple, like I said, we are going to just do this simple floor for all of it. So I'm going to drag it all down here to the bottom, take this bowl on the right here, drag it all the way to the other side. That's probably the quickest floor that's been put in the history of flooring. So look how quick this came together. You got some nice windows, nice doors, a beautiful floor. And now to do the finishing touches. This is honestly probably the most fun part. You get to add couches, chairs, lights, rugs, whatever you really want. So we're going to kind of go through this process quick. I'm not going to go above and beyond. I'm just going to throw in some simple things in here just so you get the idea of it. But when you build your own place, you go crazy. So we'll go 3D decor. Let's start with a nice couch. Let's get a couch in here. This one looks kind of bougie. Might not match the wall colors, but we'll throw it in anyways. We'll have it on the back here. More 3D decor. Let's get some lighting in here. Let's add some nice lights. Let's go a nice lamp in the corner. So we'll throw that in there. Make sure it looks good. You know, we need more than just a lamp and a couch. What else can we add in here? You know what? I always wanted to learn how to play drums, but I never did. So let's add a drum set in one of these rooms. This room in the corner here, that's going to be our musical room. We're going to throw a drum set in there. Yeah, let's throw a guitar in there too. An electric guitar nonetheless. Yeah, we'll put that right by the drums, right on the wall. Okay, I guess to be able to get in here to play the drums, I'm going to have to bring it out. You know what? Let's use what we learned. Press R twice and it'll rotate it. And we'll throw that right here so I will have space to get in back there and play the drums. Alright, so there is much more we could do to the music room. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to add in a few more things. I do love hardwood floor, but I feel like it looks a little plain, so let's add a nice rug in here. I feel like a good spot for the rug will be in front of the couch, so let's turn it a little bit, put it right in front of the couch there. Just going to add in a few more things. 3D decor. They have tons of things you could do. They have everything you would need for a bedroom. I could throw a clock on there. You can make an entire kitchen. If I'm not already addicted, I might get addicted to Arcadium 3D. This is kind of crazy. You can throw a plant in there if you want. Feel like we can add a exercise bike in here. We shall make the exercise room right next door to the musician room. Again, I'm not going to get super specific on this. You probably don't want to stare at the wall if you're on that, so let's turn that to face this way. So that looks good. Again, add whatever you want. I will be here a month of Sundays if I added in everything I wanted to. And another quick feature I want to show you, this does come in handy and this is really important. If you go down here to labels, you can add in all these kinds of things, but I want to focus right now on this square feet one. So you'll click this here and you'll draw what you want to measure. So I'm going to start at this top left corner. We'll go here behind the lamp. We'll come down here and we're just going to follow the edges of the entire living room, putting points in each corner. It's actually so simple, and watch it do the math for you. According to Arcadium 3D's calculations, this is 631.47 square feet. That's going to be super useful to know if you ever want to move forward with these designs. Again, like I said earlier, if you are more comfortable with meters, you can click these three lines up here, go to units, change it to meters, and that'll change that square feet number to meters. But I, being comfortable with feet and inches, I'm going to go back to that. And if you think that's a little bit too small, you can just go ahead in here, click on the measurement it did, change the font size. That's still a little bit too small. Obviously, I'm just kidding. We're going to make it a little bit bigger, throw it right there in the middle, make it super easy to see. And another thing under labels, if you just want to label what the name of the project is, you can go over here to text, come over here to the text box, and what should we call this? Turning a 2D floor plan into a 3D model. And again, you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you need to do. And we'll just throw this right up here, top left corner, where titles should be. You don't have to do that. I'm just showing you all the cool features of Arcadium 3D. If you want to measure the length of something, you can go vertical or horizontal. You click one of these, and say for some reason you want to know the length of this wall here, you match it up with it on the left side, you match it up with it on the right side, and that wall is 10 feet 3 3/4 inches apparently. Alright, one last cool thing I really want to show you quick. Say you have something that's not really a straight line. I'm just going to make a pathway from the front door that would lead to a driveway or something. I'm going to come over here to draw. All you have to do is pinpoint the corners of the path. So we could say it goes here, and we can bring it over here, say that's where it'll lead, come down here, say it curves down a little bit like this, and then you can arc it back to where the door is, connect it to the front, and you just want to click whatever side you want it to arc, hit arc, and it'll automatically curve it for you, which is pretty cool. So if you want to even it out on the other side, obviously you probably don't want it to be like this, so I'm going to make it kind of outwards following the curve. And just to match it up here, we're going to throw that there, and now you have a curved path leading to wherever it is that it's leading. You want to hit drawing done, and I don't want this to be white obviously, so I'm going to click that layer, go over here to old reliable paint, click what you want to paint, and we're going to make this grass just so we know it's leading outside. So look at that, you have a curved pathway leading to outside. You can make it a lot more fancy, but I just want to keep this simple just so you know all the basics and all the cool features. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention, if you do want to measure something and you don't really need it in text on the floor, you can just quickly go here to measure, and say I want to measure the distance from the edge of the sofa to this lamp for some reason. You just want to click the edge of the sofa here where you want to start start measuring and drag it to the edge of the lamp. And without even clicking, it already tells you it's 11 feet, 5 1/8 inches. So that's another cool tool there. And if you want to go back to the original view, I also found out if you hit 1, it'll cycle you through all these views, which makes it so much easier. I don't know how I didn't know that. And if none of those views suit you, you can also hit 2, and that'll make it more of an angle view it looks down from. But again, whatever you like, whatever is easiest for you, just stick to that method and you'll be good to go. So now if you want to print this 3D model, go up here at the top right to print. You can make it horizontal, you can make it vertical, you can do portrait, you can do landscape. Just make sure you zoom out a little bit that everything fits. It'll keep your measurements on there that you included, and you can even change it to how you have it and it will print like that. Or when I print, I like to do it as an outline and it kind of just shows more of a sketch version of it. I feel like anytime you see blueprints or a layout of something, it's always in this type of theme, but you can do whatever you need to do. Just hit print to PDF, it'll save it and you can print it as a PDF. And now we made it to the end. This is my favorite part. You can actually go into Arcadium 3D and do a walkthrough of the house. It's like your own real life version of Minecraft. So you want to go to first person view here and it'll put you right into the house you just built. So here we have this. You can go through walls, just makes it easier to walk around. There's my lovely couch with the rug. There's the lamp lighting up the whole room. The window, I guess I have to build an entire city so I have a view of something. Let's check out our workout room. That looks good. I'm not staring at the wall on the bike. Our music room. I can actually get behind the drums if I have to. And yeah, so that's pretty much all the basics of it. But yeah, it's super fun to build 3D models and then just walk through it like you're actually there. Arcadium 3D makes it so easy to do all of this. Visit arcadium3d.com and start turning your 2D floor design into a 3D model.